Good afternoon. You know what day it is. It's a terrific Tuesday in the city of Gary. I am Chelsea Whittington, and it is time to catch up with the Tolberts. Catching up with the Tolberts is my opportunity to come to the law offices of Tolbert and Tolbert and find out what's going on. To my right, my buddy, attorney Shelice Tolbert, and to her, my left, her husband and partner in crime and life and law, Michael Tolbert, and we have some good stuff coming up. But how are you two doing?
Oh, we're doing excellent.
Good.
Yeah.
Good time.
Good.
You back from your homecoming?
I am back from Howard Homecoming, HU. I was productive in making connections and having a good time with my college roommates and people I hadn't seen in a while. And I know you all know when you go to your homecomings, it's all about connections.
Our homecomings are just like Howard's.
Are they now?
Yeah, they're very, very, great homecomings.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we'll just leave it there.
We'll leave it there.
We'll leave it there. That's true lawyers for you. Just leave it there. Don't say too much. Right. So I want to kick it off with some great news that I've been reading about of one of your attorneys on the team. Congratulations to attorney Candace Williams,
Yes.
who has been selected as the Northwest Indiana Times 40 under 40?
20
under 40.
Yeah.
20 under 40. So what is that all about, Shelice?
Well, I'll tell you, I knew nothing about that until my lovely partner, Michael, had been chosen some years ago to be one of the 20 under 40. And it is a recognition by the Northwest Indiana Times of young people, because they have to be under 40,
right.
And that's considered young now.
Millennial.
Yeah, well,
Almost kind of on the cusp.
Yeah,
Okay.
she's
a millennial.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so being recognized in their field for doing great things in the area. And so we were excited to learn that Candace had been selected. I believe she was nominated by a fellow counselor of ours, Chantre Irving.
Okay.
That's right.
And so the recognition dinner is November 3rd over at the Blue Chip Casino.
Well, congratulations, Candace. And now she joins us in that class. I think I made it.
Oh, you're in the class too,
I'm in
right?
the class too.
Oh, we got alumni here.
Yeah, alumni. I think it
That's
was
what's up.
like,
That's what's up.
13 years ago.
Oh, yeah, it was a long time for me,
I
too.
barely made it. They
Skated right
me.
under.
They selected me. I was 39. I was like, I turned 40 by the time the dinner came around. I'm like, am I still in?
Yes, you are for sure still in. And that's a wonderful accolade, Michael, in that it highlights Candace, but it highlights the firm too, right?
It does. And what I like about the award and making that list is it delves more into more than just your professional accomplishments, but your community involvement. And Candace, she's done so much in the community with being president of Kimbrough. I believe she's on the board for Sojourner Truth House, and she just does so many other things that exceed what it takes to be a great lawyer. So we're very proud of her, and we're very happy to have her here and carrying the Tolbert and Tolbert flag into the 20 under 40 dinner.
Nice. And I will add that CWIT will be on site.
Oh, great.
Our team
you never
will be
stop
there.
working, man.
We have to cover the great news because the bad news makes it out there by itself. But then it just gets out there so fast. And so I'm always trying to catch up with the good news. So that's great news. Congratulations, Candace. I am so proud. We had the Urban League. Let's start with that. Diversity
week. Urban League was busy last week, and we were there for their event. So we did sponsor a table at that event, and it was, as always, jam-packed. Everyone attends that, and it's a great event in honoring organizations or individuals regarding their efforts for diversity and inclusion. And we've supported it as long as the Urban League has been a client of Michael's, started out being Michael's client prior to Tolbert and Tolbert's existence.
Our very first client.
Wow.
Yes,
now that
client.
I did not know.
Yes.
The Urban League, when we started the firm, the Urban League was our very first client. Dr. Vanessa Allen McLeod was the first call to our office.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and
But in
congratulating
true
us,
Vanessa fashion,
yeah,
though, when you
yeah.
think
First
about
one.
it, that makes all the sense in the world. But that is really amazing. I did not know
Yeah.
that. See, when you catch up with the Tolberts, you always find something new. Now, in addition to the diversity, and congratulations to all the winners. So there were some great winners
Yes.
there.
Yes.
YWCA of Northwest Indiana. And for those who are not familiar with the premise of the luncheon, it's about those organizations and individuals who embrace diversity and inclusion in the workplace, and they exemplify it and live it and breathe it and are very inclusive to all races, religion, sex, everything. And so congratulations to those winners.
And I want to congratulate Dr. Vanessa Allen McLeod, because since we have represented the Urban League for so long, I was really at the beginning. We were at the beginning of that luncheon, and we've seen that luncheon grow from a very small, intimate lunch to now it's just ginormous.
Ginormous, indeed, it's totally a word now.
She has done so many magnificent things with the Urban League in that luncheon, so kudos to her.
Yeah, shout out Dr. V. And I asked her, I said, why do you do this to yourself? Because the day before, she had the scholarship fair at Indiana University.
Which was
Jam-packed as well.
Yes.
So I love to see us moving together and cross-promoting and supporting one another to ensure that everybody's informed and get the resources they need in our community. So I saw you all on the red carpet a couple of weeks ago over at Indiana University at the Gary International Black Film Festival, of which Tolbert and Tolbert was a proud supporter once again. Yeah. So how did you enjoy the film fest?
I did. For a lot of people who don't know, I served as a body double for Idris Elba.
Oh, I forgot all about that.
I try not to tell people. I don't want them to bum rush.
Okay.
The ruckus. So we're very
right.
close and intimate to the film industry. Let's just say. So every time the Gary International Film Festival comes around, we love movies, we love having fun, and we have to sponsor it because we want to bring arts and film to Gary, because we think that is one of the best programs and one of the best events that this city has to offer. Mm-hmm. And I'm just glad it continues to grow year after year. So I'm glad we can be a part of it.
Yeah.
I enjoy the fact that they've got the hybrid platform now.
Oh, yes. That's nice.
So, I've been able to participate in judging some of the submissions to be included. I didn't do that this year, but we've always gone to the opening night, and I just remember even going. I think that was the first year when it was Robert Townsend.
Yeah, I remember.
I had hair.
Yeah, that's right.
You changed your look, sophisticated
a little bit, but it's always been a very enjoyable event, and people always don't recognize what we have here. It's a gem here.
It is.
Gary International Black Film Festival.
Some great films.
Yes, plenty. Good film.
So shout out to Karen Turing, founder, and that entire team that put it together. But I have to say, transparency, full disclosure, my highlight of the weekend was I ran into Tommy.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
We missed that Sunday. We had other commitments and couldn't make it on Sunday. And I was like, oh, wow, we missed Tommy.
Was Ghost with him?
No.
Is Ghost dead?
No, I don't. That's a whole other show. But I got so many messages like, what are you doing with Tommy? And what is Tommy doing in Gary?
Ghost is not dead. You heard it here first. Ghost is not dead.
Coming back. Another sequel prequel.
I'm just saying, he's been, ever since it happened,
that's one of my favorite characters.
It's gonna be like JR from
I don't watch a lot of TV, but man, I love Power.
Me too.
Ghost, them suits, man, them coats.
Yes.
Lord.
Yes, indeed. But I digress. Congratulations, Gary International Black Film Festival. Yes. Once again, you all were sponsors, and they are most appreciative of that. Yes. Moving along with our nonprofit involvement, most recently, United Negro College Fund, I saw they had a table at the scholarship fair. We were on a call. We're making plans. What's going on, Madam President of the Leadership Council?
We're trying to get through our transition, so we're back out being seen. We were at the college fair sponsored by the Urban League. informing the students from all over northern Indiana, apparently, because there were some students from South Bend that were there.
Oh, wow.
And we were surprised. But letting them know about not only our Northwest Indiana Leadership Council scholarship, but what UNCF has to offer. So if you have a high school student or a student in college now, have them go to uncf.org and create a profile so they can learn about scholarships that they may qualify for.
Perfect, because we want to get them to
And
and
through
through college. Yes, yes. So I am glad to know when you talk about transition, it's just the changing in leadership from a state level, and they reconnected with us to ensure that we are doing our fundraising due diligence here in Northwest Indiana. So I'm excited about being on your team to help with that. And we are going to raise some money. So be on the lookout as Counselor makes that ask, along with the rest of us, to support UNCF. I think those are all of our nonprofit pieces. And as we get ready to close out, the podcast. Before I say I do, what in the world how did that topic come about? And the prenups, all that kind of stuff. Talk to me about the latest podcast and why people should watch it, Mike.
Well, I think they should watch it because first, if you don't necessarily have to be married in order to watch our podcast because we have a lot of interesting topics. But this podcast was geared more towards talking to people before they get into marriage. And also there's a large demographic of people that are married. So we wanted to really hit and cover all bases because, being in a relationship, whether you're married or not married, is difficult. And there are a lot of tips that seasoned veterans, like the
yourselves.
Folks. Well, we're not quite in the seasoned veteran category. I think you got to be over 20 to be in that category.
Okay, well then none of us are then.
Yeah, so we still learning, So we, Shelice actually had the contact with this great couple, the Lewises, Clarence and Yolanda Lewis, that wrote a book called The Rhythm of Love. And they are veterans in the game, so they have been married for 26 years now. When they wrote the book, it really covers a span of 25 years.
Right.
But the book is very, very innovative because all the chapters are described as like music, like tracks. And there's just some very helpful tips in there, just not only for married couples, but just if you're just with somebody, relationships. So, we really, our podcast, we want our podcast to really be a positive force in our community. And we just really want to share it with the world and hopefully encourage people to get married and also just to collaborate. You don't necessarily have to get married, but to grow something and to build something together. So that's why we come up with a lot of these topics. But we try to keep it interesting too. So we have very saucy topics.
Yes, saucy indeed. Saucy indeed.
Yes.
And for those who are not aware of Married People's Business, now it is your time to share, and follow. And Shelice is going to tell us how to find it.
Well, you can find Married People's Business on YouTube. You can listen to it on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and anywhere that you find podcasts.
And make sure you subscribe when you go to YouTube.
Yes.
Hit the subscribe button because that's extremely important. It gets us in the YouTube algorithm, and it allows for us to send the Married People's Business message out to more people.
A broader audience.
So.
Absolutely.
I love it. So can you give me a glimpse into what's next, or is it a secret?
Oh yeah, what's next? You know what's next?
Yeah,
we have a part 2 to one of our saucier topics. Why women cheat is the next.
Yes.
We already did why men cheat.
Right.
Okay,
So part 2 is coming up with why women cheat.
And you see how long it's taking for somebody to do that part.
You're busy.
Absolutely. We're busy. We had to get the Lewises on when they were available. So, part 2 is coming up.
It's coming up.
I can't wait. And for those of you who are out there, if you happen to be a married couple in business or business partners, please reach out to the Tolberts for a potential opportunity to be featured on the podcast, because I love the advice they share and just the camaraderie amongst couples and partners. It makes us, I think, think all better.
It does,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And you know what? It's fun.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
really
good time.
is. I have no clue what to expect from my co-host.
Oh, that's every day.
Any given, but when
Here
it's
today.
recorded, it's totally different. It's like,
We didn't
okay,
discuss that.
because we don't discuss.
We want it
per
to be
se.
spontaneous.
We
Okay.
say, okay, this is going to be the subject, and we do our own little research, and then we just
Come
go.
to the
We don't want it
table.
to be scripted. you know?
I like
Absolutely.
that. I like that. Just like this isn't scripted. If you're just
Absolutely.
tuning in, this is Catching Up with the Tolberts. And I always love to come and talk to you all. So you both, I'm sure, at age 18, got registered to vote. High school
Yes.
and did the whole government
Yes.
econ class.
Yeah.
And
I got to vote in high school.
me too.
Yeah.
And so we are in election season with voting already starting, early voting having started, and election day being on November 8th. And I wanted to close out our conversation today to not even say who are you with and who are you voting for, but about the importance of voting, period. And especially when it comes to having your voice being heard. Give us a word for each of you about that process and that how people have given their lives for us to do this.
Well, I'll tell you, I can remember just as a little kid of the importance of voting in my family being emphasized, going to the polling place with my mom or my grandparents and knowing where it was and figuring it out, before that election day got there. So I was excited by the time I turned 18 and we were still in the school year. So I got to literally vote in school in my government econ class. There was a machine. So I think it's important that, people understand it's not just about the big elections. It's about what's happening locally because you have a say. And our ancestors did fight very hard for that right. And whether you realize it or not, specifically for African Americans, that right is something that we need to treasure.
Yes, I love it.
Yeah, I agree. And my family, like most families, migrated from the South here to Northwest Indiana for the steel mills and the good jobs. So a lot of us, we have up and close personal history from our grandmothers, grandfathers, about how hard it was in the South, the rural South. And you could literally die if you tried to go vote.
Exactly.
And people put a lot of obstacles up for us, stopping us from vote during those periods. And my grandparents, your grandparents, all of our grandparents fought very hard to secure the right to vote. So I always tell people, even if you don't care about the candidates, you honor your ancestors, you honor your grandparents, and you go out there and don't let what they did go to waste.
I love it.
So.
Yes.
And I'm actually looking forward to election day because, as you know, my father's 91.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
And so he's voted in many elections, and
Great.
he
That is
counts it a
awesome.
blessing, a
That is
privilege.
awesome.
And I can't wait to go with them, and we do our due diligence, and we're all asking you to do the same. With that, we're going to close out finally with people learning how to get in touch with the Tolberts, and just a recap on what type of law you cover, because since we've been together again, I've gotten another message. I need Michael to get me off. I'm like, I don't think they do that. So yeah, they'll refer. Michael?
We do not do criminal work, which is it's nothing wrong. It's nothing wrong with criminal work because I know a lot of great criminal lawyers, but that's not our area of expertise. We are a civil litigation firm. So we do personal injury work. So if you are injured, we do that type of work. We also represent businesses that are involved in business disputes if they want contracts reviewed. And we do some estate planning as well. Shelice has developed a very nice practice in helping folks transition wealth. And that's something that's sorely missed in our community. So that's an educational piece and a new branch of our firm that I'm very proud of.
Can you speak to that, Shelice, a little bit about the importance of making those plans and not, I think the papers are under Big Mama's bed. I don't know who she left the house to.
Right. Well, it's something that I always talked about with Michael in adding to our practice, not just to have another area of law, but to educate our community, because people always think, oh, you have to have a lot of money to do quote unquote estate planning. But it's really just life planning, and it's smart planning, letting your family know what to do when the time comes when you transition, who's knowledgeable about where the paperwork is and what is being done with it, And you don't have to have what you may think is a lot of wealth. Your house, your belongings, everything is important.
Yeah.
So for you to designate who you want to have it, something as simple as the china set that's been passed on for generations, the family Bible, some special heirlooms and jewelry, things like that are very important. And if you want to keep tradition going on, you can come to us and we can draft a will for you or other documents that may suit your situation.
And I think, can I say one thing to
Sure.
that? Well, not to that, but just about our practice areas. But one of the things that I think really confuses people is they sometimes don't know what we do.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times they kind of self-audit themselves.
Uh-huh.
And they say, well, we're not going to go to Michael or Shelice because we just assume that they don't do that. So a lot of times if we don't do something, we definitely get referrals out. So don't be afraid to come to us. Even if it's something that we don't do, we'll definitely point you in the right direction. So God has really blessed us to have a very diverse practice. So we represent insurance companies, which is, I like doing that a lot. As I stated, personal injury, trust in estates, business work, we do so much. But the things that we don't do, we have contacts all across the state and across this country where we can get you and find you a place. I referred a lady to a lawyer in Colorado and got her taken care of. So don't feel like you're bothering us. This is why we open. This is the gift that God has put in us. We love practicing, so you can call us at any time and we'll definitely point you in the right direction.
Well, that is simply amazing because I am willing to bet that there are some firms out there that don't take the time to make referrals. But in my opinion, when you do that, the blessings come back tenfold.
Amen.
One more thing I forgot. I saw you all in the newspaper. Did somebody head over to homecoming at Westside Leadership Academy to see some family play?
Yes.
Yes,
we did.
guilty as charged. Okay.
Yes, we hit up homecoming. I had my nice hoodie on.
It was cold.
It was a little chilly, but the hoodie was working out. It was working out. So we didn't even know we were snapshotted for a news article.
That's right. Shout out to my nephew.
Yeah.
My nephew, Javon.
Yeah.
So, Javon Tolbert. So he had a great game. He was player of the week.
A great season.
A great season. I think he's player of the week about 2 weeks ago. So I'm very proud of him.
Those Tolberts.
Yes.
Idris Elba bodybuilders, football players. You have been catching up with the Tolberts. I think we are all caught up. But if they want to reach out to you on social media and online, what do they need to do, Shelice?
They can go to our website, tolbertlegal.com. They can find us, Tolbert and Tolbert, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on Twitter. Yes.
Yeah.
And
I want to thank you all for taking out the time. You all are simply two amazing human beings who are committed to this community, and I therefore am committed to you. Thank you so much for watching, catching up with the Tolberts, and we will see you next time. Everybody be great.
See you later.